this is all based, again, on the current increases. However, we're looking at the budget and putting together a plan for increases. We just don't know what those will be. So I'd like to move down to 6165, which is contracted equipment repair and maintenance. Again, this one here we haven't used, and I don't know if we'll end up needing to use it, but we want to go ahead and keep it there in case we require some type of equipment repair and maintenance. Equipment rental, we have $1,000 in here. In the past, we've had up to $3,000, and we purchased our own mini excavator a couple years ago, and that's made it accessible to the cemetery for digging graves, and it's been very useful. But we want to go ahead and keep that $1,000 in case we need to rent a pulverizer for the dirt or something like that. So. Moving down to 7010 machinery and equipment, over $1,000. We've got $3,000 for our Ferris zero-turn mowers. We're including some upgrades for those. Any questions on cemetery?
You said mowing?
Yes, mowers. They're Ferris mowers. There are zero-turn mowers, and we have, like I said, about 26 acres out there that we have to mow weekly. And we have two or three, I think we have 3 total mowers, but 2 really nice ones that the guys use, and they can go quickly. Yes.
Are we budgeting anything for grave sites for the veterans?
As far as upgrading things or cleaning, or what do you mean?
No, I
specifically?
thought that we used to have grave sites available for veterans.
And we do. Dovey probably can
That's
speak to that.
different than this.
Yes, but go ahead,
Sorry.
Dovey.
Veterans are not charged for their burial site. They are charged for the grave opening, so there's just no revenue to the city.
Okay.
And I guess any normal expense, the excavator or anything,
Yep.
any normal burial expense.
Dovey, what's a normal or what's a normal?
A plot is $686,
So we don't charge veterans for that.
or infants.
Or-
There's an infant aisle that the grave is free as well.
Okay, any other questions on cemetery? All right, I'd like to move on to forestry. Again, back to the wages, same story there. I'm going to move down to item 6180, so that's the next. No, there it is. Yeah, we're in good shape there. Contracted vehicle repair and maintenance, we're budgeting $10,000 for our clam truck repair and inspection. We have one of the most important pieces of equipment for the forestry department is a clam truck, and it is rather old, and it does require a lot of maintenance. We've been doing a good job of doing that in-house. Unfortunately, certain components on that require skill sets that we don't have, mostly hydraulic. It's got a fancy hydraulic swivel on it. So when that stuff gets to leaking, we take off the cylinders or whatever it is that's hydraulically powered, and we send those out and get them repaired. And so that's what this is about. And I'd like to just scoot down to 6765 tree assistance. So tree assistance is our contracted tree budget. So this year, since I've been here, which is the 5th year, we remove some of the largest, scariest trees in the city. One reason for that is we don't have the equipment to take down trees of a certain size, a very large size, and 2, they can be very hazardous. So we contract those out for those reasons, and we're budgeting about $100,000 again this year. And last year we did the same. Yep.
And am I understanding that 50, just a little over half, was used this year?
No, all the bills probably haven't arrived yet.
But what you have year to date
Yes.
is
We've-
50,143.
Yes, that's correct. That's what we've used so far.
Yeah, our tree contract for this year, the bill hasn't come yet, so the trees that are on here are just emergency trees. We have another tree contract that's gonna put that line item over budget this year because we've had so many storm trees this year.
Yeah, what was that, March? Where we had that big,
Two different storm, Sorry, we had two different storms that we had. One had like 28 trees we had to take down, and another one we had like 30 trees we had to take down, and our crews couldn't handle all of it. It was too much, and some of them are just too big.
So the good news is the more of these things we keep removing, the fewer we're going to have coming down in windstorms. However, I think the first year I was here, I mean, we would just get a normal thunderstorm blowing through, and our guys would be out there. I think in 2020 we had a storm sometime in July, and I think we had 20 trees come down that storm. And the more we've been taking down these trees on contract, the less we've had come down during storms.
It's surprising too. A very large tree can cost upwards of $10,000 to remove.
Yeah, they get very expensive. Okay, with that machinery, over $1,000, we're looking at purchasing a new saw this year for $1,500 and a grinder chopper attachment for the skid steer or the mini excavator. And what that's going to allow us to do is take out brush along the along the road siding. So especially Henderson Road's a real problem. There's a lot of brush there. It's very steep. There's not a great way to get to that. This grinder will allow us to more efficiently remove all the debris that grows up along the road sidings. So we're planning to purchase that in 25. And then last, we've got a couple of trim saws. So it's equipment under $1,000. A couple of trim saws, or a trim saw and a pole saw. So trim saws are small. And by the way, the saws we buy, they're magnesium framed. We use they're used quite a bit, and they're built for continuous use, not like your normal home chainsaw. Any questions on forestry? All right. I'd like to go to animal control. Thank you, Kurt. Again, wages, and there's really not a whole lot here besides wages and withholdings. We are, budgeting some nominal amounts for equipment and maintenance, repair, and fuel, and vet services, and machinery. This year, we're looking to get a tranquilizer gun. When you have a very aggressive dog, it's nice to have an extra tool in your tool belt that you can take a dog down without it getting the person in harm's way. Last couple of years we bought some new snares, but having an extra capability is going to be good. So we budgeted for that this year. So, any questions on animal control?
If I could, do we have anything on backup on training and backup on our licensing back for larger animals?
We are working on with the staff that's interested at the street department to help us out, but right now we're a little bit in a holding pattern as we're waiting for the outcome on our current animal control's health situation. So,
Thank you.
You said health situation stuff?
Yep.
What does that mean?
Just health. He's out for health reasons.
Oh, we don't have no one right now.
Well, we will cover the calls over the weekend. It's on a rotating basis, but our permanent animal control person is not here.
Okay.
Okay, moving on with traffic engineering. Last year we budgeted for a new signal and crossing signals at Burchard and Empire. This year we're looking to replace or repair the FHN crosswalk at Stevenson and Route 75 at Honeywell. Those signals have been in place for many, many years and are in unreliable condition. So we're budgeting about $60,000 for that. Other than that, not much else to talk about in terms of traffic engineering. Any questions?
What did you say about Route 75?
The walk signal at 75, I get well, Stevenson at Honeywell, Plant 1.
Oh, okay.
That's Commercial Avenue.
Oh, okay, yes.
Yes, sir.
Again, the budget for this activity looks so low for 24 because the bill for the Burchard lights is not in yet. Those were just replaced about 2 weeks ago.
Okay, with that, I'd like to move on to streetlights. So streetlights, again, we're talking about the city-owned streetlights, most of which are in the downtown. We have a handful of other ones sprinkled throughout the city, but almost all other streetlights that you see out there, if they're not in the downtown, they're most likely ComEd lights. So each year we budget for the electrical expense. We're budgeting about $300,000 for the streetlight expense, and we're also budgeting $20,000 for repair and maintenance. Every once in a while, we'll have like a ice storm, or we'll have some line pull something down, and we'll have to go repair it, and it can be very expensive. So, any questions on streetlights?
How much did you say downtown street lights were?
We primarily had those replaced under a grant, a distressed communities grant.
I'm sorry.
If you're talking about the downtown LED lights that we installed, those were basically free. We had those installed on a ComEd Distressed Communities grant, and I think we spent about $7,500 on incidentals and some additional labor, but overall, we didn't have to spend anything on those. As I recall, what do they cost a piece?
Those are bigger powered ones. Those are, I think, around $300 a head for the Cobra head itself. And then the labor, but we've been trying to get another distressed community grant to address some of these other ones in the main corridors. We just have not been successful yet.
Any other questions on streetlight?
Yes.
Yes.
Carriage Hills, that's one of our,
Yeah, Carriage Hill's light that's out is because the wire's cut. Don't know where it is, and we haven't had a chance to really track that down.
okay, that's fine.
Yeah, you're talking about the one across from the
I was
the
talking
address
about 'em
escapes me.
in general, but understand they're different and,
Yeah, they
Should've never
they had
been black
installed
and
those
everywhere.
pedestal lights, and
Yeah.
you know, the ambiance thing.
So that becomes the city's issue?
Those are the city lights. So, okay, with
They
that
are
we
the
could.
city lights?
Yes, I mean there's a handful of city-owned streetlights sprinkled out throughout the city of Freeport, but most, like over 90% of them, are ComEd owned. All right, I'd like to move on to motor fuel fund. So this year, we're expecting to receive $480,000 in the Transportation Renewal Fund and $500,000 in MFT tax allotments, with an additional $50,000 in income interest, and that comes out to about $1 million. This has all been budgeted for the 2025 street program. So you look down at the next item, which is expenses. You've got $125,000 in crack sealing, which is just part of maintenance that we need to do, so we can make those new streets that we've just done last longer. That's why we need to do the crack sealing. And then rock and road material, as you can see there, is $900,000. That money will be expended on street reconstructs in 2025.
And that's coming from the motor fuel fund, or that's coming from the street fund?
That's from motor fuel tax. Any other questions on MFT? Okay, well, that concludes the budget planning session.
I did have a question
Sure.
on the first page.
Yeah. Kurt, could you go back that up?
I screwed up.
So we're at 101, 141, 5,000.
It was pertaining to us budgeting 60,000.
Yeah, hang on one second while we get backed up there.
I'm just trying to understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's backing it up. I'm just taking a minute.
He was on at 141.
There you go. Oop, there you go. Okay, so if you see on the 2024 budget, those are items that were budgeted. 2024 activity, none of them have been expended. 2025, we're not budgeting anything for Public Works. In this case, this is for the Public Works Director. And that is because Darren is our contract Public Works Director, and that comes out in a different place in the budget. And that is, that's why you see that at zeros.
So the non-bargaining are the people that's not in a union,
Correct.
and we budgeted 60,000, but we used none of it.
That's correct. And that'll just be rebudgeted at the end of the year, and it'll go in when we do the rebudget.
But on 2025, it says 0.
That's because we're not spending anything out of this account next year, because we have a contract Public Works Director.
It's just gonna be out of a different line item. There was, street improvement funds we had on the agenda here yet.
I missed it.
Thank you, Michelle. Apologies. We'll have it ready for you next time.
That's fine.
Well, the numbers are here. I don't have it on your sheet.
That's fine.
We don't
We'll
have,
catch it next. That's fine. Any other discussion?
Thank you.
Any public comments? Nobody here? Would make a motion for adjournment. Motion by Clem, second by Parker, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.